Okay, let it take as a second file. All right, so the second case, the first case I'm using the where condition directly, and the second case I'm using the having directly. So if you're using the where and having just like the same, so it should make some sense. In that case, either I should be using a where or having only. But having always takes with aggregated functions the way you're getting, and you read the error correctly. Let me run this again. Invalid having clause because it not contained any aggregated function. So if I use aggregated function, again becomes mandatory to use the group by clause. Okay, it's clearly mentioning that you need to use the group by clause, and you should have an aggregated function, and having clause cannot be used in the property. So that means let me just copy my own stuff, what I prepared here, just copy this and paste it here. So that means now I want a gender, I want a city, I want a salary from this table. Let me put this aside now. Just want to see the output exactly. Okay, what is the error here? The error here is we are not using the group by. So let me use the group by. Okay, I'm using the group by gender. Now let me run this. I'm going to run into errors again because you're not satisfying all the parameters. Some will have its own parameters. VLOOKUP has its own parameters. Group by will have depends upon the number of columns you mentioned at the top. Yes, exactly. So let me take all the parameters. This is anyway aggregated, so there is no need to talk about salary here. So let me run it. Will it give the result? Okay, it has given the result. Now, can I use where condition after the group class? So let me say city equal to London. When you can use where class, then what is the purpose of using have then? So when I run this, you will get an error because it's not understanding, though where is a keyword, but it's not saying keyword is an error because where always follows from. That means from table, from where what you want to filter. So where cannot be used here, where can be used here. Okay, this is one style of using. So what I'm trying to do as per the execution process, first it is trying to check from, then it is checking what, then later it is trying to group, then it is selecting what columns this guy is looking for. All right, so let me run this. I should not be seeing any errors this time. I got only male, London. Okay, some. Why? Because he's the only guy who is from London who is having a salary of 2,700. Is that right? No. Let me go for only selection of male. We have so many males, but why we got only this one? Because we have a condition called London. Then in that case, what should be the salary total amount? Exactly the same what we have here. So that's how I can use the where condition. What if I'm not using where condition and I want to learn having class? It's not that I want to replace the where condition and I want to use a having class, but let's see the real difference here. Now I'm trying to run this. Now I got the same result. So whenever you use a having clause will filter further on group by. Group by is what? Group by is like just creating a pivot kind of information for you. On this, if you want to use where condition, we need to use a having clause. If you want to use the where condition, you can use before the group by, after your from. So having comes later after your group by. Having always follows group by. Okay, let me go here and see where the having is standing at this moment. It is standing at the fourth level. Okay, from the table, what you want to filter, what you want to group by, then what you want to having. Having is nothing but, again, you can simply think about having is like a where condition only, but having can be applied only after the data is grouped together. You can put some more where condition there. Okay, here when you are putting the where condition, you are not grouping anything. Simply you are getting a data on which you are putting a where condition. But here you are grouping by, then later on you are putting the having there. All right, so we are trying to understand how the group by works, and we have also seen how to use the having. So in order to make this more understandable, when to use a where condition and when to use a having condition. Before we proceed, try to have only one thing in the mind: both are same. No more confusion, both are same. But there is a clause. We'll talk about that later. But keep in the mind, having where condition, both works the same. So let me run the query without having, okay, without having. I'm using only where condition. Okay, let me not also not use a where condition. I'm just running this. When I'm running this, I got all the cities are grouped. I got all the salaries grouped together, right? So no, I don't have a gender here. So I need to have a gender also because you are using there. So let me run again. So I used a simple query. All I want to gender wise, I want to see how many people are staying in London. There are only male people are there in the London, their salary is this. But if you look at the New York and Sydney, they are a little different because in the New York, you have a female and male population also. In the Sydney also, we have male and female. So it cannot, male and female cannot be clubbed together. So it is showing separately. Okay. So now if I want to see only London, what would I have done? I used where condition, but where to use the where condition? It's only after the from. Okay. The first, while writing the query, first I'll write select, then I'll use from, then I'll use the from, then I'll use the where, then I'll use the group by, then I'll use the having, then I'll use order by. This is the way I write, but actually the way the system is understanding is this. The order of execution is different. The way you write the query is different. This is our way of writing the query. That is select statement, from, where, group by, having, order by. That's it. That is the query you write. But actually, this is not the way the SQL understand. The SQL will understand differently. That is what you've seen at the top screen, right? So now, when I try to run this, what I'm trying to tell is, you, in this case, what happens is it will first try to look at the table, then it will filter only London, then it will try to look for group by, then it will look for what are the columns I need to get. So when I run this, let's see what is the difference it makes. I got this. Okay, I got mail, London, sun is this because this is your interest, right? You want to see only the London city. But if I use having, what happens? When I run this, you can't use this. Though it's giving a result, it's very confusion. You cannot use this because where is also the same meaning. Having is also the same meaning. So don't use where here. We need to use always having because after grouping certain information, if we want to use where condition, then we need to use a having. Then when I run it, you may get the same result. Okay, we may get the same result because having and where is also same. But when you use where, what happens is after selecting the data, it is filtering. But when you're using have, what is happening is from the table, it is filtering. It's not filtering because I'm not used where condition. From this table, first to group by, then go for a where condition. That is nothing but having. So group by cannot take where condition. So let me see if I can use a where condition in place of here because I'm talking about both are same, right? So when I'm running this, simply error. Why? Because that's not the way to write. We cannot use where after the group by. We need to use only after from. So let me put this way again. The way I write the query is select from, okay, then where, then group by, then I'm going to use having, order by. This is a sequence in which I'm writing actually. This is a sequence in which I'm writing, but the way it runs the query is different. Okay, let me put this as a comment. Okay, I'm writing the first select statement, then I'm writing from statement, where condition, then group by, then having clause, order. But in terms of execution process, it will first see from, this will stand at first, this will stand at second, this will stand at third, this will stand at 4, this will stand at 5, then it will see what this guy is really looking for the columns, which columns I need to print as an output. This is the way you write, the way you write, this is execution process. The execution process would be the from, where, group by, having, order by, then comes the picture of your select statement as the last. So this is the execution process. Okay, this is execute writing query. I'll come to your question. what exactly the difference, but here let's try to understand this one before we actually go there. All right, so now we are very clear how these classes can be used. While writing it is different, while executing by the system, why should we bothered about executing? Because that's give the clear idea what kind of output you are really looking for. So execution process is different. As I said, writing query is different. Now, as I said, as you have seen very clearly, after from where follows, having I cannot use here because that is not the execution process. It will always followed by your group by. So after group by only, I'm supposed to use having. When I run this query, you are getting the output. So where condition will filter on your data, having will filter on the same data, but after the group of the data. What is the group of the data? This is the group of the data. Simply to understand more, here where condition I'm using having condition here. So that means if I use where condition in the gender, I want to select female. So where gender equal to female. So on the raw data, it is using the where condition. Having is also similar to where. I'm not confusing, both are same, both are filtering, but having can filter only on the summarized data. Simple, as simple as that. Having is also like a where condition. I'm saying the same thing again. Having is also like a where condition, but having will filter on your summarized data. If I am using here where city equal to London, you know how the data is going to look like. But if I say here having city equal to London, that means on this summarized version of the data, you'll get like this output. Here, if I'm selecting this on London, we are getting where city equal to London. This is the data what I'm going to see. This is the data what I'm going to see when I'm using a where condition on the simple data, on raw data rather. But when I'm using a having clause, what happens is how the output is going to look like. Having can be used only on the summarized data. What is summarized data? Group by data, right? So on group by, I'm using a where condition, same London and selected. Now see the difference of your where condition. This is, I got the output by using a where condition equal to London. This is also like a where condition using by London, but I used a clause called having after the grouping. So this where works on data, also works on the data, but after group by. So let's start using order by now. Now order by. So for that, again, I want to go to my table and see I want to check my knowledge. From is on 1, where is on 2nd, group by is on 3rd, having is on 4th. So I think and must be order by will be in the 5th position. Is that right? Let's go. Okay, let me go back and see again. From, where, group by, having, order by is sitting in the 5th position. So let me go back. Order by process is the 5th execution. Now let me use the same select statement. I want to have a table name. Okay. Select star from table. Let me simply display the table first. See. Okay. One thing you need to remember before we go further, I just want to give some additional information because having is also filtering the data, where is also filtering the data, group by works on aggregated. These are the rules which you need to keep in the mind whenever you're writing anything. Because already we've been suffering understanding the business information, understanding the data, what is exactly, what kind of story I need to tell about the data. Already we are struggling with a lot of things. So when it comes to writing query, it should be very easy. Why? Because I know the order of execution, I'm perfect. I know how to write the query, I'm perfect. If these basics are perfect, then you can put your another energy on understanding the business. So if you look at from a performance standpoint, this is what my personal observation. You cannot say that one method is less efficient than any other method. Like having is better, where is less efficient. No. SQL Server and try to analyze each and every statement and select the best efficient way to execute your query. Okay. So I cannot comment really which is the best one, which is not, because SQL itself will try to execute its own plan. As a best practice, what I do is use the syntax very clearly and describe the desired result and try to eliminate the rows that you would not need as early as possible. So what you can do here is, let me try to give one more example here so that you'll not have any question further. Now, can we use where condition and having clause? We already seen, right? So we have used where condition, where gender equal to male. Okay, I used it. And having city equal to London. So what is the basic difference here we are trying to understand? Where clause can be used with. Okay, this is also one important point. Where condition, where all we can use for the select statement we can use, right? I forgot to use this one. Where condition, we can use where condition along with the select statement, that is select star from table where employee name equal to DP. Okay, select statement, that means where condition where you can use, that is for the select, and you can also insert. Can we insert by using a where condition? I want to insert data by using where condition. Perfect. Can I delete the data by using where condition? Delete from the table where employee name equal to Monty. So I want to delete based on certain conditions. So that means where can be used at the select, can be used at the insert, can be used at a delete. Can I use at a update? Maybe. How? Update command, you want to update a particular record of Monty is age, you want to correct it. Yes, we can still use where condition on all these four statements. But what happens when I'm talking about a having? Let's see the differentiation before we go further, go for order by. All right. So that is the first thing what we can notice with select. So coming back. So so basically this where we can use for all these things. So let's see uh, where we can use having. Okay, having can be used only with select statement. Nothing you cannot use with anyone. I want to delete from a table having gender equal to male, wrong statement. I want to delete a data from database where employee name equal to Monty, having statement we cannot use again, because having cannot go with any other statements. It will only go with select statement. Having can only used with select. So that's a primary difference what we have seen in the where condition and the. Now it will be more clear for you because let me give more differentiations here. So where condition, this is the first one, and select only can be applicable for having. So let's see the second difference. Where will filter your data, right? It will filter rows. Where will filter your rows before let's say on. I hope it's clear. Filtering rows before on aggregated values. So it will simply filter only when it is not aggregated. Okay. So let me see what happens in the case of having clause. In case of a having clause, having will filter. Okay, having will filter groups. This should be very clear. After your values. That's it. So this is a primary difference. So let's see what is the other difference which you have not spoken about. That is aggregated functions cannot be used in where clause. Yes or no? Let's see. I don't know because we haven't seen the practical in action. So let's see. Aggregated functions cannot be used in where clause. I'll repeat again, but we'll see. That's what, this is what my understanding about the where condition having condition. The first one, if you look at, you can use the where condition for all these statements, but having can be used for only one statement called as select statement. This filters, this is also filtering. Both are same, but it filters on rows only before the aggregated values. Before summing up, before counting, before minimum, maximum, whatever you're doing, it will filter only before, not after. But this one, it has a capability, it is designed for only to filter on aggregated values. You already summed up salary, again you want to put a where condition, there we cannot use a where, so we need to use having condition, so this comes afterwards. The last one, aggregated functions cannot be used in where class. Aggregated functions can be used in a group having class. Here, let's say, let me take the same example maybe. Do you have any number kind of things? Okay, salary we have, right? So let me use here. Uh, so let's try to prove the last point, because we have seen the first and second already, because we know that golden rules. The third one saying you cannot use the aggregated functions in where clause. So let me remove this sum clause here, and I just need a salary. I doesn't require all these things, remove it. So what I'm simply doing it is, I'm just trying to get the simple raw data with the specific columns. Now, how we can say that you cannot use where condition with aggregated functions. So let's see if it really works. Where, okay, sum of salary. How does this really make sense when, because I cannot use what do you call, aggregated functions of the where condition. So let me see if I use this, run it, you'll get an error, because we are not expected to use in a where class. Aggregated functions cannot be used in a where class. But can I use aggregated functions in a having clause? Or can I say something within here? Let's say salary greater than sum of salary. Make no sense again, because you are trying to see whether it is greater or lesser or whatever. Had it been something like this, like simply 5,000, maybe this is a right word to say, okay, or I want to display only those people who has salaries greater than, less than, not equal to. You can use all those operators, but here we cannot use aggregated ones where salary equals to or sum of salary. We cannot use this statement. That's what the clause is saying here. This is a rule, that's it. Why? That's a clause. Aggregated functions cannot be used in the where clause. So that is, we have seen clearly, but what if you want to use aggregated function in case of a having clause, how it works. But before using having clause, what exactly we require? Let's say having, what we need to have, let's say city equal to, for now, just for now, I use this one. Then if I run this, I'll get an error because there is no aggregated one. So let me use sum of aggregation. Still, it is not happy with my query because it will still get an error. Because when you use having, we need to have, before that, you need to group by, because having is a filter which works only on the group by. Group by with what? Do you want to go for a city? Let's go for a city. So then group by city, still I'm not happy with the query because there are two parameters which you specified without aggregation. Those should be brought to your group by. So once you select this, run it, you're going to see it is selecting two columns, three columns in fact, salary, city, gender from the table, and it is grouping by gender and city and having a condition called London. So this information, what you are seeing right now on the screen is only London city, whose gender is male, and salary. So that's it. So that's how it's a group and having the major difference what you have seen in terms of usage. Those are the clauses. Why? There should not be any question why, because that's how that particular function or clause is being designed for use. Let me go for a order now, because order is also very important when you are trying to use group by. I want to use order by whatever which I'm going to use clause now. Can I use directly, or it is also dependent on someone? That is what I want to prove the fact. That's how you'll try to build the logic here. So straight away I got this one. So let me use order by. Order by, again, it's a two words, but make as a one word, order by. Order by is nothing but, let me go back to Excel and try to make it more simple. I'll just go for this data, raw data. Where are you? Okay. So let me hide this for now. Okay. What is the order by? So let me see if I select this column, if I go to which one is it? Insert. Okay. When you want to order, what is order actually? I want in a order. Okay. I want in alphabetical order, or I want from lowest to highest number, or else I want the highest to lowest number. So what I'm talking about, this is simply I can do in Excel, right? Nothing but ascending order and descending order. Ascending is right from A to Z, and descending is nothing but from Z to A. So that is what I'm talking about. In Excel, it's very simple. Select the column. What you do is sort. If you want to go for a multiple columns, no, I'm not interested. Just let me go for a single column, A to Z. Okay, it's asking, do you want to expand the selection? So let it go for that. Oh, it's hidden data is creating an issue. Let me put this into a new sheet. Okay, let me see how the sort is going to work in my Excel case, the same data I want to see there. So I've selected this one. I went to insert, then not insert. Data, sorry, yeah. So I selected this name because it's not properly aligned. If you see, Deepthi should be sitting at after Arvind, and Nilima should be somewhere last, and Anthony should be coming after the Arvind. Sorry, A, then it should be coming as D, then F, something like J. So Kavita is last, S is before. So something, this is not in order. That is what I want to bring in. Even if I want to order this ascending or descending, so all males will come first, female will come first, male will go later. So let me see how it works. I'll go for A to Z. Now I want to go with the current selection, so let me say sort. Anthony, Arvind, Deepthi, Frank, Joel. So simply just like that, I could able to sort it. Let me remove this. I want to sort this one now. Okay. Now the question is, before sorting, I want to understand, even if you're not sorting anything, by default, it is in ascending order only. Whenever you're pasting any data, until unless if you're not editing, it is by default ascending only. So always we'll try to ensure we are trying to make it descending. So let's see how it works. That is simply trying to understand the concept by using Excel. Now order by, what do you want to order by? Order by, you want to go for a name. So let's go for a name. Okay, when I'm running this, there are a lot of parameters missing in between these two. From is there, fine. Select is there, fine. But there is no where condition. There is no group by. There is no having. Directly, I'm using the last one. Let's see what it works. Oh, it still works. That means order is not, order by is not dependent on anything. It's not dependent on group by or having or something. It's nothing. It's not doing anything. Order is just doing the order. But what if you want to order after grouping, that means group by, that means you created a pivot table, then you want to order it. How it looks like? Let's go for Excel then. Now I'm removing this. Okay, so if I'm putting sort on this data, that is normal data, I'm able to do sort. But if you want to do sort on group by, so that means you need to use order by after grouping. So this is assume that this is where condition. This is simple raw data where I sorted. This is my pivot table where I want to sort. How you are going to sort it again, by the way? So let me make Z to A. Okay, after creating a pivot table, I'm sorting it. But here I'm trying to sort on the raw data. So this is what happens. So if you are trying to use order by after, also you can use it. If you are using group by, it's again we need to use having. So order by comes later. But having said that, order by is not depend on anyone. It depends upon you when you want to put it as ascending or descending. Whether you want to do this ascending, descending after creating a pivot or before. I keep using pivot. Actually, it's not a pivot. It's kind of a pivot information what we are getting. So order by can be used this way. Just so let me order by this. Can I use the multiple names? Oh, no problem. So just let's go for gender. Okay, so I'm going for name and gender. I want to order. But by the way, what kind of order it is trying to do? Is it doing ascending or descending? By default, it is ascending. So let's try to make a note here. By default, okay. Next we have descending. There are only two concepts. One is ascending, either descending. We can do any of those. So let me put this name, this time name ASC as ascending. Why you are mentioning? Not to mention, it's not required because by default anyway it is doing ascending only. Let me see again. Yes, doing the same job. So let me say DESC, which is nothing but descending order. Okay, let me run this. Now you can see Uday, who was last, now he's on the top. Anthony, who was standing at the top, now he's coming down. So that means it's completely reversed, right? So this is what you call as an order by ascending order, descending order. Whenever you want to make it ascending, don't use it because by default it is ascending only. But if you want to make it descending, use descending. And what is this? Always mentioning the column names, not required. You can say simply one. One stands for what? Let's try to see that. Once I run this, you can see the first student ID is completely ascending. Okay, let's say DSC. That means I want the student ID should be reversed. Okay, so that means one stands for the column name. Okay, there's no need to mention the column names. You can say column numbers. So that's how we can use a column also. But I prefer generally to use the column names because it's clearly understandable. If you have 50 columns, if you're using some 45 number, I don't know which column you're talking about, but we can use always two. Okay, I use two, one. Let me use a three, which I'm talking about a gender. That's what I know because I know about the table. But if you have a 50 columns, it's really confusing. So don't use the numbers, though we have that provision. If I say three, then I want to go for salary also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me use 5. What happens? 3, that is gender, and the city is going to affected. That is going to be ordered. Now you can see it is ordered. But how it is ordered? It is ascending order. So why can't you make it a descending? So this is how you can use it.